Yeah, I saw the Missouri Attorney General banning most adult gender affirming care as like an executive action. Like it was like an emergency order or something. Through a single executive action, just banned or limited access to such care for majority of transgender adults in the state. Again, like love the idea of like, oh yeah, dude, we're just concerned about the treatment of kids, and then like obviously they were lying. They're going after everyone. I'm scared. Well, if you don't live in Missouri, this is not an immediate problem for you. I'm sure some of you do, but statistically speaking, Shadow 39, you probably don't. I do? I was trying to be... well. Alright. It literally was an emergency action based on that fraudulent mistreatment story from the University of Missouri. Mistreatment story. Is that the one that led to that guy making up a fake story about, like, and then, like, disclosing the medical records of youth without permission or proper backing, and they ended up deleting everything on Twitter and leaving? What was that person's name? What was that person's name? Jesse Singal, that's right. Or Singal or whatever. Yeah, basically like they pushed a fake story, and in pushing the fake story, they disclosed private medical records. And then they ended up deleting everything. I think they literally tweeted something like, hey, does anyone know if there are any legal problems with what I just did? And then deleted everything on their Twitter. And then they made a Substack article about how canceled they are or something. I didn't cover this because there's like a billion things that go on every day. I can't cover everything, but yeah, it was really funny. So that's the article then that's being used to justify this. That's great. I bet it's bad enough that it's on Jesse's Wikipedia. No, it's not? Aw. Paywall free. Sorry about the big... Yeah. Parents push back on allegations against the St. Louis transgender... Okay, if I'm remembering correctly, basically there was like a 16-year-old at a gender clinic who, in an interview or like while filing a form, made a joke about how they felt like they were an attack helicopter. Like it was a joke. Like it was exactly the kind of joke that I or any of you would make, where it was like, you know, oh, well, what makes you think that your you know, gender identity doesn't align with your birth well, I've always felt like I'm an attack. Like it was a dumb joke like that, right? Like very normal Gen Z, yeah, type joke, irony, blah, blah, right? And basically Jesse Singal, like, found out that info and dropped it, which was a component of private medical records of a minor. And then once he did this, everyone at that clinic, like parents, the actual kid who he lied about, came out and like were like, yeah, he's totally lying. Like Jesse's completely full of shit. This didn't happen. They're lit, like this is nothing. And then he deleted his Twitter. Yeah. This. You probably saw this. I retweeted it. 141,000 likes. Wait, this is from Barry Weiss. Oh, this is Washington University. This is a different one, Demon Mama. But this is the other big story about somebody lying about the experience of a youth. No, wait, Washington U is in St. Louis? Wait, really? Washington University is in St. Well, that's just confusing. All right. That's just confusing. I've reinstalled Twitter to respond to the story, make sure my voice is fairly whole. I am Casey. My real name is Alex. My mom decided it would be best to hide it from anonymity, but this is my story, not hers. This is not the Free Press's story. Weiss is a grifter too. Oh, Weiss is terrible, yeah. But I think she denounced the story. Did Weiss actually back off on this? Does somebody have a link to that of Barry Weiss going like, wow, this is too bad even for me? Okay. About a week ago, my mom contacted... Vice did the Twitter file shit. Oh, the Twitter file shit. You mean the Twitter file shit that Elon Musk recently denounced after saying it was a failure after a public falling out with that one guy who also did the Twitter file shit, who ended up making a Substack article, and then the Substack article got, like, censored by Twitter and wouldn't allow retweets, and then there was a public falling out between him and Elon, and then... Blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, dude, it's such a... Matt Taibbi. Yeah, that's it. Matt Taibbi, the guy who left Twitter because the Musk started censoring competing... Oh my god, dude. Jesus Christ. Feels like necro posting with how fast everything is moving lately. Holy shit. Yeah, it's impossible to keep up. I live stream and I can't keep up. You know, admittedly, I live stream maybe once a month, but, you know, still. Oh, my God. After she revoked consent, my father and I, along with the university, attempted to set a meeting with mom. She did not attend this meeting, claiming she was not contacted. Later, she admitted it was. Yeah, like, this person's mom was lying. And it's a classic story. If you want to attack transgender people and transgender youth, the best way to do it is to interview the transphobic parent of a trans youth. This is the same way that they did that study for rapid onset gender dysphoria, where basically they were like, hello, parents who hate their trans children. What are your thoughts on this phenomena? And then wrote it down and gave it a medical term, you know? It's the same thing, and this is the same thing here, and it's all the same thing over and over. There's so much, there's like a million things here. Okay, let's get to the actual bill to see the full page of restrictions on trans adults here. Yeah, okay. Wow, nice auto zoom. There we go. Fails to ensure the patient has received a full psychological or psychiatric assessment consistent of not fewer than 15 separate hourly sessions, at least 10 must be the same, over the course of not fewer than 18 months. Basically, in order to access trans medical care in Missouri following this executive order, you need to have been in therapy for it for at least 18 months, and you can't have any other psychiatric symptoms at all. So if you have depression, anxiety, autism even, listen, fails to ensure the patient has received a comprehensive screening to determine whether the patient has autism. So you can have nothing. You have to be like Barbie or Ken. You have to be. That doesn't even make sense. Well, one of the lies of the anti-trans lobby is that everyone who thinks they're trans is actually just depressed and is reaching out for like any possible solution. Now, obviously, if you have a single brain cell, you can look at this and go, well, if they are trans, would them not being able to get medical treatment not contribute to their depression, thus preventing them from getting medical treatment? And the answer to that is yes. And this guy knows that, and they want you dead. They want you dead. They want you killed. They know. They're fully aware of the fact that this is basically just a blanket ban with very, very few exceptions. They're fully aware of this. How is H even defined? Oh, yeah, of course. Fails to ensure, at least annually, that the patient is not experiencing social contagion with respect to the patient's gender identity. That's right. Social contagion has now been codified in an actual legal executive order from Missouri. So somehow they will have to determine before you can, get any kind of trans affirming medical treatment whether or not you have been socially contagioned. It is Nazi shit. Yeah, it's basically just encoding into law the concept of degeneracy. Functionally, this is a complete ban on trans healthcare. Like I genuinely I do not know how you could possibly thread the needle on achieving all of this in order to get the healthcare. There are TikTok grifters saying groomers are taking advantage of autistic kids, tricking them into becoming girls. Yeah, again, this is like the narrative. It's the Nazi narrative. The idea is that it's degeneracy, that there are no real trans people, that all people who think they're trans are either like predatory sex demons or like they get their kicks by convincing young vulnerable people that they're trans actually. The idea that they especially say this with trans men because they love to infantilize girls, or they'll say like, oh, there are all these girls who are depressed, and these trans groomers will try to convince them that actually, they want to cut their tits off and become a boy. Which, yeah, the legal codification of social contagion, if taken not even to its furthest extent, but just a logical extension of what it would imply, basically it like necessitates like state violence and genocide against transgender people. It basically requires the like second class citizenship status of trans people. It's the only thing you can do when you legally codify concept like this. So yeah, don't go to Missouri, I guess. It's probably not good to go to Missouri. That's my thought on the issue. The order also forces gender exploratory therapy on all trans people, which is a form of conversion therapy that has gained footing in recent years. This therapy seeks to explore every other reason for being transgender other than the patient actually being transgender until they find one that convinces a trans person not to transition. Yeah, it's basically like you pay to go to an appointment for a person who hates you to like sit in a comfy chair and say like, you were bullied in 8th grade. Do you think that might be it? You're like, no. They're like, your mom yelled at you when you dropped the food during Thanksgiving once. Could that be it? No. And you just have to do that for like the rest of your life. Yeah, and it's not just for kids. This applies to adults. You can be a 42-year-old and you still have to what find me any other area in life where this much government barrier construction exists to doing something, any kind of medical. It doesn't. Abortion? Well, not even. No. I mean, apart from the places where there's a complete abortion ban, not even. But yeah, that would be like a comparable area. Um, yes, Shiloh, there is a decent chance that this gets overruled by the courts. That is correct. In the meantime, large health organizations like the University of Missouri Hospital and Planned Parenthood have said they plan to fight this or bend the rule to make it work so patients who have already established care can continue getting their meds. Yes, there are plenty of medical experts and NGOs out there that will do their best to fight this, and I wish them all the luck in the world, of course. Nothing but good news, folks. But yeah, this is scary. This could set a precedent. Yeah, it could.